Hello. So, hello everyone. Can you hear me? No, huh?
Yes.
You can hear me. Okay, good. So, let's get started. Sorry first for the delay on Wednesday. I think there was a bit of miscommunication because I wasn't able to join, but my colleagues were able to join and they understood it that we should cancel the meeting. But it was not my intention to cancel the meeting. I thought just told that I cannot join, but they understood it to cancel the meeting. Sorry for the confusion. I just saw it in the evening, the message that you wrote. But we can anyway. We can follow up on this and do a kind of a mid-season check-in. So the goal of today is to see where you're standing, and then to see how you can progress now with the implementation. So I would start with the following. I created the tasks for every one of you, right? And I think everyone completed the tasks as I see it so far. So everyone has a community PR open, and we can quickly go over it together. I already look at it, and then we can verify that you are all set up correctly. And I think it would make sense to show a quick demo, because like everyone has a bit of a different setup, and it helps to see how everyone is set up, so that you could learn from each other, because there are like different, I wouldn't say 1,000 different ways, but quite a few different ways how to accomplish things, and it would make sense to quickly go over it. Okay, so I would start with just sharing my screen, and then we go from one proposal to the other. Screen. Okay, you should now be able to see my screen, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's start with this one. I already added a comment. So this is the proposal for the vulnerability UI, right? And let's now I want to see it as is. All right. Proposal. Sorry, it's a bit like this one. Okay, so the proposal is regarding the vulnerability UI, right? And there is already a few comments around that. There's also the UI. There's no link to that. let's do it this way. So what we can see then is should be a mock-up here. Can you explain what this image meant? What does this image represent? Which information should it convey?
Yeah, sure, sir. So exactly as of now, I just created this particular thing and go through the links that you have shared in the particular issue. So what I think, like before creating any mockups, I need to discuss this particular thing, like what you guys are looking for creating this particular thing, like vulnerability UI, so that I have some idea, like the creating Figma design and other things. So if you can give your insights, like how do you looking to see the UI diagrams and other things, then I will create by today and then upload it on the proposal itself.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll make a note. All right. And how is your, when we're already starting with you, how is your working setup? So how is your development environment set up? So are you able to, create a change in the JavaScript Angular code and then see the results and test it? So how do
Yes,
you,
sir.
yeah.
So for running on my local system, I just followed the guidelines that is basically mentioned in the contributor.md, and for figuring out the changes that is basically done in my local system. For that, I use Portainer. So it works for me and able to see all the changes on my local system. May I need
Your
to show it to you?
no, so but you're running it in a container, so you're not starting it locally. Okay. This is a bit, yeah, I'm not saying wrong. It's not wrong. Uh, I think it will slow you down if you every time you build a container, start it, see the results. I think you should be able to spin it up locally, right? So if you run npm start, it should already. So what I normally do is, so you're spinning up the whole thing, so right, the front end and the back end and everything, right, in the container, like the compose file.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so what I would recommend you is to um, to uncomment the portal part in your compose file, right? So it's not starting up. Then start up your compose file, and then start locally the portal. So like npm start. I think that's if you go to let me, I will get Harbor. No, what is that? So if you course, I think who is also working on the front end? Is it Parth? Are you working on the front end with the
Yes.
yes, you're
Yes, with
also,
the robot account API.
yes, exactly. Yeah. And how do you do you run local or also the container?
I think it's using Docker containers, like all of the steps mentioned in the contributing readme. So I set it up, and with the trick that Young, he gave us a line of code. Like with this, we can compile it in 2 minutes, to 1 or 2 minutes. So I'm relying on that right now,
All right.
because if we do sudo make install, it takes half an hour.
Yes. So I would recommend you to, this is good. And then uncomment the portal from the compose file, right? So you can uncomment it so it's not starting up. And then you can start the npm locally, right? So what you then do is um, mm, let me just try to git pod again. Did you guys apply for this Git pod tier? There is a
Yes, I did, but I haven't heard back from them.
you haven't heard back. Okay, I need to check then. Why I'm not seeing nothing here? Wait. Okay. Oh, strange. I don't see it. Wait a second. All right. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to spin up the oh yeah, it does. Yeah, okay, sorry, it does the build. Yeah, it takes a bit too long. But anyway, to keep it short, so you spin up the portal locally. So what you need to do is, if you spin up the portal, it's just npm start, right? So I think it's configured in the package JSON. You see this, you do npm start, and then you do start. What is the start? Just start, right? So it will spin up the locals locally. What you need to change maybe is to set the host here, right? And then what you need to do in the second step, there is like the requests that the front end generates, they need to be proxied to the backend, right? To the right API. And there is somewhere a configuration that, yeah, this proxy configuration that you need to change, not this one. Proxy, where's the proxy? Proxy config. So maybe it's this one. Where's the? I look. There's the description: npm install, npm run post, and then cp proxy config to proxy config mgs. Right. So the template, you copy it into proxy config mgs, and then the mgs file will, will forward the requests to the container, right? And then you can change the code locally. So you can change the portal locally, and you see the immediate results there, right? So it's recompiles automatically, and you see directly the results. So you have really short development cycle. So you can test and see the results. You don't have to deploy and wait 1-2 minutes, right? And it's going to be much more efficient like this. Yeah, but you can take a look at this proxy. So I think you will figure out how to set it up correctly. Yeah, so this is this part. So let's go back to the proposal. This looks good. And where is I just continue with you, Parth. Where is your
I haven't made a PR yet. Like it's in open.
Oh, you
So I had
didn't
a
do
couple
it
of
yet.
questions about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Good. Yeah, we can answer that. We can go over the questions afterwards. Let's then move to Akshat. Akshat, I see your PS already open here.
Yeah.
And oops, sorry, button. All right, so this is the official CLI, and you created the directory structure and
Yep.
the setup. And what you probably need now is to identify the commands that are required, right?
Yeah, basically, I need one repo in Go Harbor organization, and then the basic commands that I first need to implement. So, and I have also proposed two directory structure, one with like directory per command, which I like the most, because that will arrange all the commands as a package. And another one is where in command CMD directory you can have all the commands. So yeah.
Okay, so command, project, and then, all right, so project Go. All right, so each Go file will be then quite simple, right? So it will not have much of content. So right, so it will create project, will be simple commands. Okay, so is it a common practice in with Cobra to do it this way?
Like in Cobra, files are arranged in just command directory. I checked other projects like this one, Docker CLI, then kubectl, and I found that they have arranged their commands per directory.
Okay, all right. So I'm just wondering if, like, yeah, I mean, our commands are not going to be that big, right? So the question is, how much overhead is there apart from the code itself, or the relevant code, right? So what is the code that is like the boilerplate code, right? That you need to write.
I've given one example below, so like
Yeah.
that can be assumed as the boilerplate.
Yeah, so this is like the boilerplate around that. Well, okay, the import we cannot count as a boilerplate. Get project command, and then the command Cobra get short run init. Well, that doesn't seem too bad. I mean, it's mostly, and you do it this way anyway, right? So if it's in one file, there is no much reuse. Okay. No, that's good. Yeah, I like it. Mm-hmm.
So basically, this particular code pattern is generated by Cobra, but the code structure that is maintained by kubectl or Docker CLI, that is completely different. I guess that that is because they have to manage a very large set of commands.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So regarding the project, I would recommend you to do the following, because it takes a bit of time, right, to get you the permissions, and also it's like we don't have all like there is not possibility that everyone has all the permissions. So it's also in the project we don't have all the permissions for obvious reasons. So what we can do is, or what you should do is, you create a project in your own namespace, right, under your username, and we then collaborate on this user space. And once everything is ready, you will transfer the repository to Harbor.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think this is the easiest way to proceed, because otherwise it like if you want to try the pipelines, like the GitHub Actions and everything, it's a bit more cumbersome when it's running in a project of Harbor, because there's like approval process and everything. So it will slow you down. So the easiest way is like you build it on under your namespace, and then once it's ready, you can transfer the project to Harbor, and then it will be under Harbor.
Okay, so will you be reviewing in my namespace? So like, okay.
Yes. I mean, we can collaborate until we're happy, and then we can just transfer it.
Good.
And this can happen at the end or in the middle, someone along the next weeks.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Right, then let's go to Wilfred. Right. And yeah, Akshat, I forgot to ask you regarding your development environment setup. So how do you currently work, or how is it set up?
So normally I followed the instructions given in the contributing.md file. I do not need to recompile any parts. So I basically just need to get my local host running, and I can communicate it using Go client library that we have in Harbor. So yeah, that's my current setup. That how I test and
All right.
like any project or get any project.
All right. Yeah, understand. Makes sense. Good. So to you, Wilfred. This is the proposal. Replication filters, right? So and yeah, so any comments on that, Wilfred? So is your, I think your code or your contribution is partly a bit on the front end, right? So you need to change a bit on the front end, but a big chunk is on the Go side, on the back end.
So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so for this, I thought of two approaches. Either because the issue description mentions specific version number filtering. So what I thought of is either I can write a regular expression that will specifically filter out the semantic version numbers, or we can just put an option on the UI that will ask the users for a regular expression, and then we can directly match that regular expression. So it doesn't matter like what format the user images are tagged. They can just figure out the filtration regular expression, however their logic is implemented. So like these are the two things that I thought, and I need your inputs on both of these. Like
Yeah.
which one
So
should I proceed with?
yeah, so I would recommend to use to let the user implement the regular expression, right, or input the regular expression by the user. And I think as a bonus, what we can do is we can have a, let's say, some sort of a drop down, that will contain some typical regular expressions, for example, for semantic versioning, right? And then the user can just select from the drop down a regular expression. It will copy into the input field, right? And then the user can adapt it or just use it as is, right? So it's more, it's optional. It's not needed because it's at the end of the day it's still a regular expression. But there are some typical use cases where you could be helpful just to copy and paste a good regular expression. But yeah, so we can do it either as a tooltip or not at all. But more importantly is like the user is entering a regular expression in the UI, right?
Yeah, so some of regular expression parsing we can do directly in the UI, and once the expression is validated, we can do the filtration part in the Go code. So I think I had figured out the functions that I need to modify,
All right.
but I'll need to take a look once again. So yeah, I'll get in touch once I have some progress with that. So,
Okay. Good. Yeah.
and Yeah, speaking of the development environment, I have a cloud VM where I have Nginx set up, and I just access it, and I have the whole setup there. And as far as running the changes locally goes, so Wangyan provided a command that I usually run, and it takes around 2 to 3 minutes for the changes to go live. So
Okay.
yeah, so just one question I had is that I made changes in the core directory, the main.go file in the core directory. So the changes were reflected by the command. So now that I need to do changes in the artifact part, so is this still in the core directory, or is it some inside some other container?
No, it's in the core. So
It's
it will
in core.
compile. Will compile to core. So you are basically so not directory so no artifact. Which one artifact? Can you help me navigate?
Yeah, just a second. It's a package directory inside the reg folder.
It's not under source.
No,
Source and
I'll type out the path in the chat just
oh
a
yeah,
second.
thank you. Yeah, package reg filter. Exactly. Yes, exactly. So this will be compiled to the main application then, or to the core, and yeah, it will be then in the core. Yeah. All right. Okay.
So the inside the reg directory is also a util directory that has the pattern.go file. So uh, I'm thinking that the code changes that I make will go inside the util directory inside the pattern.go or the util.go file. Mostly the pattern.go is where I'm planning to put in the function, and I'll just replicate the logic of the other functions, and the function that I write will accept the regular expression pattern as a parameter.
Okay. I think util is not the right place to do it. I would not put it in
Yeah,
util.
it's not util, it's the pattern.go file in the same directory.
Okay. Rec.
Util inside util.
Okay, inside util and then pattern dot. Yes. Yeah. It is the path match. Yeah. Okay, patterns. Where is it currently implemented? So when the request comes in, it's not directly going in here, right? So it's
So I think it goes to the artifact.go file, and functions inside artifact.go are called specifically by each the implementation of each tree, like for Docker Hub and various files they get called.
yeah, but it's good. I mean, yeah, you have already some ideas where it can be located. Yeah, you can also ask Wang Yang. He knows this part of the code better, and he might give you also some tips where you can verify at least, you know, like if you're not sure, like you could ask him and verify if you didn't do so yet, and then he can tell you if it's a good place.
So I have mentioned it in the proposal. So
Yeah.
if you can just ask him for a review, then we can work it out on GitHub right away.
Okay. Yeah. Here it means, yeah, right. So it's the place. All right, good. Okay. Then Parth, you had a question, right, regarding your proposal?
Yeah. So I reset the code as one and so that all of the APIs, like all the permissions. So how permissions are enabled for robot.
Oh, no, it's gone. Seems to have bad connection. Okay. So, hello.
Yes, I'm sorry. So, yes, I was saying that all of the APIs for the new permission have been implemented already in back. So what we are going to do is kind of replicate all the previous PRs related to enabling robot accounts permissions over there. So I went through them and I had a question like we are giving adding existing permissions, like there are currently 14 permissions over there. So
Oh,
we just add there or we create a new set of permissions called super user permission.
You have to repeat that. I have like difficulty understanding to you because the connection is breaking up. So can you repeat again? Like
Yeah. Yeah. When we are adding new permissions for the robot account, should we add them to the already existing 14 permissions, or we do a separate section called super user permissions and add these new permissions over there?
This is a good question. We need maybe to sit together and figure this out and try and see how this is working. Huh? So this is a good question. I'm not sure. I need to see it myself to decide what is the better option, you know, and long term. So I would suggest we maybe next week we make a session, you, me, and Wang Yang, and then we can go over it together to see how what's the best option here, right? Would that work for you? So let's schedule something on I don't know, Wednesday or Monday. No, but Wednesday maybe. We're at KubeCon with Wang Yang is also there, so we have some time and we can have a discussion there.
Sure. And also, I want to just confirm that just like the previous permissions are implemented, we are going to implement them in a similar way, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Okay. Well, I would say that looks good. You know, you're making progress. That's important. The next step would be for us. I need to get back to Buana to discuss the UI part, and then we can set up something with Parth. If any one of you needs kind of a support request, we could. I think the easy way would be just to have a short call to see if this resolves the problem, right? So I would try now to be a bit more present and help you with the implementation and help you with answering the question regarding the implementation. And then, yeah, we have a few weeks to go. I think 12 weeks, no, or how many weeks are they good to go? Yeah, something along those lines. And And so we need then to finish up the implementation part now, or not now, but now kind of starting with implementation and so we can finish on time. But so far, I'm very happy. You're making progress. You're providing results, and it's good. And yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out to me directly or in the group chat. And if you need help, let's set up a call together. Yes, Wilfred?
So for my part, I need to also make some changes in the UI. So should I do myself, or since two other people are working on the UI, I should coordinate with them in getting those done?
No, you basically, when you need to do changes in the UI, like you're responsible end to end for the changes as well, right? So I think like offloading the task to someone else, it's a bit difficult because then it takes longer, right? So it's easier if you
Okay.
just implement it yourself, the part.
Okay, then I'll implement the changes in UI as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So I have a fork on my personal account. So if I need any reviews with the code, I'll just ask you folks, and you can just provide me there rather than me make a PR directly.
Yes, this is also possible, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Or you can also open up already a PR, kind of a work in progress PR, right? And then it's visible on the on our side, right? In our pull request here. So we'll see it here in the PRs that it's open, and we see it's a work in progress. Nothing will happen, and then you can continue working on the PR on your repository, and we will see the changes. So it's like you don't have to wait until the PR is finished. You can already open up the PR. And then and we can also collaborate like this.
Got it, got it. Yeah, that works too. I'll do that.
Okay. Okay. So I would say we're done for today. Thank you very much for your time, and sorry for the for Wednesday. Yeah. So I try to be a bit more present for you now, and so that we can help you with finishing the task, your assignment. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for your time, and see you soon. Bye bye.
Thanks, Adam. See you at KubeCon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
bye. Vadim sir,
I'm here. I'm still here. You wanted to ask me
yeah,
something?
sir. Yeah, so for the UI UX part, there's someone for whom we can reach out for that particular thing, like for reviewing other things like mockups and other things.
Yeah. We should also set up a call together, and then we can discuss this. And we can do a kind of a sketching session where we try out a few mockups, and we can also see at other projects how they are doing it, and then we can do it together. So maybe we can yeah, we can do it on Monday if it works for you. It's like Monday, I think like 11 o'clock my time. I'm not sure which is like now minus 1 hour, but at this time minus 1 hour on Monday. I'll send you an invite, and then we can discuss this, right? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, Wilfred.
Yeah, so if Jan would present in that meet, then even I can hop on and ask about my part of where to place the function on.
Okay, so you mean on Monday, right?
Yeah, on Monday, since a call happening, so I can join as well.
All right, I'll ask Wang Yang if he has time on Monday. Because the call on Monday with Vana will mostly be about like mocking up, right? So it's less about the code itself. So I'm not sure if you can learn something from that, or it's not relevant to implementing the part. But I'll get Wang Yang on board, and maybe we can do a session on on Wednesday together.
Yeah, even that was, or if you can review the proposal that I made and add
Yeah.
his thoughts in the comments, then we can work it out there too.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Good. Thank you, everyone. Hey, have a nice one. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.